Hey guys, it's Sam here today, and we are going to be playing with the new Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette. I am so excited to play with this palette. We are going to just do one look because I am so familiar with Beauty Bay's formula. I will know for sure if something is different. And yeah, if you are interested, continue watching. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can come back and see more content like this. And yeah, I already have my base on, and I was like a little sad because I put bronzer on, and I also picked up the new bronze blush glow palettes. They only came out with two of them, but to be honest, the bronzers in here look like neither would really work for me. And I had that impression when I ordered it, so I'm not that surprised, but I may still try it. Who cares if I look a little overly bronzed? I will probably try to add a little more just to see, but we will be using the blush and the highlighters in here. But as you can see, this is the bronzer here, and then this is the bronzer here. Hello, that looks like a face powder for me. And then this looks crazy dark. Amazing for deep dark skin tones, but not for the tan girl situation. But we will maybe mix the two and see if we can come up with something and use the blush and highlighter from there. But we're going to start with the palette. At the end, I will insert the swatches so that you can see all of the shades, but it is the typical packaging size, standard size for the Beauty Bay. The packaging is really, really cool with this like lime green, metallic, like, what do they call that? Oil slick kind of situation. And the back has like the little lines or whatever on it. And this is the color story inside, and it is beautiful. I'm very, very excited to dip into this. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get right in. So I always want to do a green look, and I'm going to try to resist that. And we're going to go into like some of the berries and the blues, I think. So the first shade I think I want to go in with though is Algorithm, which is this like caramel kind of camel caramel kind of color. We're going to try that in the crease first, or in my case, just above the crease, because that's 10 with my eye shape. That's where I like to place my crease shades. So we're going to take that on a fluffy brush. This is a BH Cosmetic V5 brush, and they don't make this anymore. But any fluffy brush will do. I just have a bunch of these because they were very inexpensive and very good. I wish they would just bring them back. Oh, I forgot eyeshadow primer. Let's do that really quick and then I will be right back. All right, we are back and we're going to put the shade right above the crease. I'm bringing it up a little bit higher, but I'm blending it out a lot because I just want to have that like smoked out effect. So that did exactly what I wanted to do. You could probably just stop right there. That is a beautiful brown shade. All right, that looks absolutely beautiful. I'm going to just stay using the same brush. And now we're going to go into Reality, which is this beautiful kind of like berry red. And I'm super excited to dip my brush in there. There we go. And I'm going to bring this just a tad lower. So like actually kind of in my crease, but also just a little above it as well. You know what? I just decided right now I want to create a halo eye. So we're going to add that on there. This is not necessarily the right brush for this, but we're going to roll with it. I am going to take a smaller brush so that I can actually do this properly. This is the M507 from Morphe. And I'm going to really get in there, the crease and my lash line. Because my lash line is kind of hooded as well, if you didn't know that. But when I put liner, a lot of times when I put liner, and then I pull away and like put mascara. When I blink, you'll see my eye lift and then there's like a gap. So I have to like be very cautious when I do liner like that. So now we're going to put that on the inner corner or inner part of the lid. And that was just effortless. I didn't have any follow or anything. I love the Beauty Base formula because I have no problem with them just doing exactly what I want them to do. And I'm just gonna not add anything to the brush, but just take what's left on it and drag it across so that they're kind of married. There we go. Let's do the same on the other eye. All right, so I'm going to take the 506 and go into algorithm and just put that on the lower lash line. Oh my God, my husband is watching Back to the Future with my son right now, and I don't know if you guys could hear. It is so, so loud. I've already asked them once to lower it, but apparently they don't care. All right, and I'm going to take this very flat brush and then go into Reality and put that on the lower lash line as well, but really close to the lash line. And only about halfway. All right, and now we're going to take Distortion, which is the shade here. And it's just this really beautiful, like, gunmetal with like a purpley burgundy vibe to it. And I'm going to put that over the center of the lid. All right, so that's really beautiful on its own, but I think I want to go into Grime, which is like a pewter shade right here, and just slightly tap that over top on Distortion. Like ever so slightly, just to give it like a little bit more, interest and contrast. This is like a really boring girl's look gone grungy, I think. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay, and then let's take Code here, which is just a very silver shade, and put that on the inner corner. Whoa, that is very intense. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of Grime and just kind of put it over top. It's still very bright. Whew, you can see that from a mile away for sure. All right, and as you can see, I decided to just drag Grime on the lower lash line, just in that inner part. Okay, so let's add some mascara. And I'm trying to use up this Maybelline Colossal Curl mascara. I do like this on the top lash, but I hate it on the lower lash. Like, it looks nice initially, but it always transfers. So I would not recommend this for the top lash. I mean, the lower lash line. If you're like me, that I more often than not wear two separate mascaras, then this is still very beautiful. Get a nice fluttery, curly effect to the lashes. But if you like to just have a one and done mascara for both, I would not recommend this. So this is the look for the eyeshadow, and I'm really happy with it. But we are going to use these face palettes. I am excited to try to see what could work for me. And I actually think I really like the blushes in the darker one over these ones are here. Like, these are really pretty, but I feel like this for me is like when it's full on winter, like in February or spring, March, April, like I could use the blushes in here. I could use them now, but I mean, they would just show up a lot better. So I want to use the blushes in here. I think I'm going to go in with this one right here. It is called Rosewood, and I don't know how pigmented they are. So I'm going to try to be very light-handed. And we got some on there. I probably should have used the bronzer first, but because I was going to try. Look at that. They are very pigmented for sure. Like, I just very lightly pressed it on, and I honestly don't really want to add more than that because it's like the perfect amount. All right. That is so pretty. So I did end up putting a little much here, but that's fine. It looks fine. We'll just add a tad more to the side. There we go. All right. So I want to try the bronzer, but seeing how very pigmented the blush is, I know for a fact that this bronzer is going to be way too dark on me. So I'm going to mix it with the bronzer in the lighter palette. So the dark one is cacao, and then the light one is called hazelnut. So we're just going to mix the two and see how that performs. Let's see. Because I'm wearing the e.l.f. Halo Glow, but in the darker shade. So it's the shade 5 medium tan as my full-on base, but my forehead is darker than the rest of my face. So sometimes when I put anything shimmery up there, or just a little bit lighter, it gets like a little bit of a gray cast. So I definitely feel like it could use some extra bronzer to counteract that. But oh my God, that looks horrible. I have a feeling that is from the cacao shade. It's just like way too cool tone. And that was a mistake. Let's see if we could blend it out and fix this. Just gonna go into hazelnut and see. All right, so we kind of fixed it. It doesn't look bad in person. It looks way worse on camera because I think you just see undertones a lot better in the viewfinder. So we're just gonna go with the hazelnut. I don't feel like it's really doing much of anything, if I'm being honest. This for me is just like a face powder. The hazelnut and the cacao is way too dark and way too cool tone for me to use that. Yeah, like in person, I'm not getting what I'm seeing in the viewfinder, which is like scary, but it's still definitely, I would not, if you're my complexion, I would not recommend you using that bronzer. But I do want to use the highlighter in there. Do I? I do. I do, because this is a golder one. The other one is more champagne, and I know for a fact this kind of shade here will give me a cast. So we're just gonna try this highlighter, and hopefully it's not as as the bronzer was for me. Might be a little clashy with the eye look, but it's very pretty. I only put a little bit, and it blended really nicely, and it's laying very smoothly on the skin. I mean, all highlighters accentuate texture, but I don't feel like this is, you know, horrible. I feel like it actually looks pretty good. And putting this on kind of sheerly really just accentuates my natural skin tone. So that's really pretty. I like that a lot. All right. So I already have like a little bit of residue from a lipstick that I were previously, but I am going to change the lipstick and then I will come back and give you my full-on thoughts. So this is the final look and I'm really, really happy with it. I feel really sexy and beautiful, and that's what I want to feel like when I put on my makeup. And I feel like Beauty Bay killed it again. I cannot wait to play with all the other shades. If you're interested in seeing me do more looks with this palette, please let me know and I would be happy to do so. But overall, I really like this, and it's the same quality that I am very familiar with. And yeah, I really enjoyed the palette. As far as the face palettes go, I mean, I do wish that there was a palette in between these two because I would like to have a bronzer in a palette that I could wear. And like this highlighter, I made it work because I placed it really sheerly. And I mean, you can see it does look beautiful, but I feel like if I really wanted to amp it up, this shade would be too dark for me. The blushes, I think, will work perfectly for me. They're just very pigmented, but obviously because they're for a dark to deep complexion. And the lighter one, this bronzer is more of a face powder for me. It's not very bronze for my skin tone. So it doesn't really reach like the darker medium to a tan complexion. These blushes, I'm sure, are going to be beautiful, but they're going to look prettier on a more fair to medium complexion. In that highlighter, it's gorgeous, but I know for a fact that I will get a great cast. I just see, I know. So unless I'm I've lost a lot of tan, which sometimes can happen to me. Sometimes in February, I'm very, very fair, what I consider to be fair anyway. Um, and I can wear stuff like that, but it's a very short period of time before I, get tan again. So, ugh, I do wish that there was a face palette in between those two. And maybe they will bring one out and I would be so happy to see it. But for now, I'm kind of about those. I think if you're lighter than me, you're going to love the lighter one. If you're darker than me, you'll love the darker one because I do feel like the powders in there are very good. It's just the shades. So that is it for today's video. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And until next time, I just want to thank you so very much for taking the time to hang out with me. And until next time, bye.